Welcome back. Well, thank you so much for hanging around. Hopefully you were able to join us for Peter's fantastic insights into Plastic Bank and the fantastic work that they've been doing. It's now my pleasure to introduce Sonia Pelacheva. She is sales manager for Vela at Seaman Paper. She has in-depth knowledge of paper, much more than me, and all the current market need. Sonia is helping fashion brands to help reduce plastic in packaging, to reduce their sustainability, to reach their sustainability goals. Can't wait to hear all about it. Sonia, welcome to you. Thanks very much for being with us today.
Hi, Jenny. Thank you for having me.
So before I get started, before we get into it, my quick question to you would be, can you tell us something that not many people who are on this call will know about you?
Maybe I'll say about my passion about these sports, especially about the winter sports. So I come from Slovakia actually, all my life living near to the mountains. So I'm kind of freak to the winter sports. So I love any kind of the skiing. So cross country skiing, downhill ski touring, on any kind of the winter sports which are possible to do in the mountains. So this is, I think, people are sometimes surprised that I'm doing all these sports.
So you're not scared of the cold then?
I'm not. We have really cold weather in Slovakia during winter times.
Exactly. Great. All right. Well, thank you for that. Always nice to get to know our speakers a little bit more. But now, talk to us a little bit about the Ocean Campaign. That was something that your company launched to address the issue of plastic waste in our oceans. We just heard a little bit about Plastic Bank, but tell us about Seaman Paper's commitment to sustainability and about this campaign. Tell us more.
I'll share my screen just for so
sure,
if it will work, hopefully.
Well, just into slideshow mode, of course. Perfect.
You can see it, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm very happy that Peter was talking before me because he clearly said that the plastic is a problem in our environment and our sustainability. So I'll just start maybe as a brief introduction of the Seaman Paper company. So who we are, what we are doing, and what we are focusing to reducing the plastic and also replacing with the paper. So Seaman Paper is a company which is in the market more than 75 years. And we've been found in the US, and since then we expanded very international and globally to become a global manufacturer and the converter of the specialty paper and the packaging solutions. We are still a family-owned company, and we have the operations across the North America, Europe, and mostly also in Asia. As Jenny mentioned, so we are very much focused on the garments and the fashion industry. So we know that the productions are actually there. We are currently very much focusing on the sustainable paper packaging solutions to replace the single-use plastic. As Peter said, there are so many metric tons of plastic are added to the ocean each year, and we have a study that more than half of it is made from the single-use plastic. So basically, any kind of the single-use plastic, including packaging, is in our oceans, and it's more than 10 million metric tons in the oceans.
Sonia, just a quick one. At the moment, you're sharing.
Yeah.
Are you able just to share the slide so we can just see?
Sure. Yep. You good now?
Well, we can also see your notes there, and I just think it would be better if we could just see full screen.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully I can do it that way. Can you see now better, or?
Hasn't changed.
Oh, so you cannot see my screen, right?
We can see your screen. It's just that we can see the next slide coming up and your notes, so it's in present.
Okay.
But don't worry if you can't change it. An anonymous attendee is helping us. Go to display settings and swap your screen.
Okay. So I'll just is it good now?
Reshare. Let's give it a go.
Okay. Or just I continue talking, and then when I'll be able to share it, then we can just pop it out.
Just reshare, and we'll carry on. No problem.
Okay. Let me try to share it again. Okay, screen one and the. Sorry for that.
No worry.
Is it better now, or you cannot see it still?
Right now. So you just need to swap the screen. There we go. It's coming. If we can make that full screen.
Okay. What you can see now? You can see my screen, or not really?
No, it's all perfect. Well done. Thank you.
Sorry for that. Okay, so yeah, so we end up with the saying about the Seaman Paper as such, and the company and what we are doing, and where is our focus. So, and as I said, the plastic is a problem, and then we have like the over 10 million metric tons in the plastic are added in the oceans each year. And we as a paper and the paper packaging producer, we are very much aware that the paper is the sustainable alternative to the single-use plastic. Mm-hmm. So as a like concern awareness grow regarding the plastic pollution, we are proud to offer a portfolio of the lightweight paper packaging, which is replacing the plastic which are ended in our oceans. And that's why we launched our ocean campaign, which is basically named See the Difference initiative. And the See the Difference initiative is an ocean give back program fueled by the sales of the Vela bags. So here, like.
So what the Vela bag, which you mentioned there, which we see there, is the alternative to a single-use plastic bag. Is that right?
Exactly.
So what do you consider to be the significant benefits and advantages in both to the consumer but also to the environment?
So basically, as I said, like we as a company, we believe that the paper is the sustainable alternative to the single-use plastic, and that there are many features which are also supporting paper to be better than the plastic as such. So first of all, that the paper is made from the FSC certified sources, which basically means that they are marked as a responsible forestry. Still, we believe, and we have it confirmed by the research, that paper is one of the few truly sustainable products. So it is made from the renewable sources, which is basically the trees, which can be still renewable and planted again. And the paper is also naturally biodegradable. So basically, when we leave it in nature, it will not stay there as a plastic, for example, in the oceans and in all our environments. And is one of the most highly recycled products in the world. So we believe that really the paper is the material which can be replaced by the plastic. Also, the Vela bags are temporary and recyclable. So basically, it means that not only collectors, but also us as an end user, so any of us which are using the Vela bags, so paper bags at home, can throw the paper packaging just easily to the bin and recycle it. And from this perspective, then we'll go to the recycled circle, which then later on can become the different products. So our bags are made of the 100% virgin paper, which is also some reasons, but otherwise it's 100% recyclable, even though there are some glue sides which can be also recycled. And then within this, we are supporting the circularity of the paper packaging as such.
Yeah. And so, talking about innovation, technology, which is obviously what we're here from our perspective to talk around too. What about digital solutions? What about connected packaging? What about connected experiences? How can they be involved? How can they help this type of campaign?
Yes, I see that the digital packaging and the kind of like the connecting as such via digital QR codes or whatever can be used in a few ways, especially in our bags and the paper packaging. So the first way would be to using not only us as a producer, which we are selling the bags, but also the brands which are actually using the bags. to be able to collect the importance data, which you already mentioned. So who are the end customers which are using this packaging? As I mentioned, like we are mostly present in the garment industry. So I think not only for us, but also for the brands which are selling their garments in the paper packaging will be very much useful to have this information, who are their end consumers, and if they are also kind of like aware about the sustainability fact about it. In other way, like how to use the connected packaging and the and kind of digitalization will be kind of like in marketing perspective. So we see it as a brand that's the simple QR codes, and like you said, like we cannot put all the information about like how our bags are sustainable, what is the CO2 footprint, what is the impact of our bags. We cannot print it all on our packaging because we just destroy the marketing part of the paper bags. So therefore, this connected packaging can bring and can hold all the valuable data which basically end users would like to know, and also which the brand as such would like to present to their customers. And at the end, maybe also the good way how to connect the paper packaging with the end users and the brands will be the ocean campaign. So kind of like increase the awareness of the people that when we are using paper instead of plastic, we are really helping the oceans. And basically how our ocean campaign works, that we committed to donate from each bag part of the sales to the two ocean campaigns. So one is Mold One and other one is the One Ocean Foundation. So one in US and Europe. And then basically the end users can track it, that with buying this packaging, I mean this garment pack in this packaging, we can support saving the oceans and the kind of like make the pollution less.
No, definitely. And then of course that digitalization, as you say, you can't put all of the information. Imagine the plastic, the paper bag with all the plastic versus paper information all on the side. That would definitely look nice. So that's great in terms of the brand and yourselves being able to communicate to the consumer, but also that digitalization allows the brand to be able to see how many people scanned it, what did they think about it, other education information, some gamification, lots of different ways to be able to further educate, but also collect information and analytics as well. How many people are scanning? What do they think of it? Did they know that this was, a 100% paper bag, etc., etc. So lots of different ways. I think that the digitalization of this fantastic idea, just like we saw with Peter's campaign as well, the digitalization of it can really make and enhance it and go a lot further. A couple of questions from the audience. Shamwell says, I'm asking you a very important and interesting question. What do you think about the idea to use seaweed and algae as material for creation in sustainable packaging? Any answers for that?
Yeah, so there are many materials which are using as a replacing of the plastic, so it's also a seaweed solution. The one thing is that if we think about how much plastic bags needs to be replaced, then we need to look to the sources which are first of all renewable and that they are like enough in our environment, in our globally. Seaweed is also definitely an option, but it's, when we can speak it later on, it's also like more expensive option, and that the source of it is also like very much limited. So as we know, with the oceans getting, like smaller and smaller, the seaweed is maybe not really the alternative, the most sustainable alternative. But like we are looking on many factors and many kind of different materials which can be still sustainable and very much used also as an alternative to plastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We've got an anonymous attendee asking a question, and I'm not sure, but is the bag 100% paper? Because if it is, how is it water resistant?
Yes, so it's 100% made of paper, and it's made of the special glassine paper, which is made out of the with the cylinder pressure with the hot steam. I think I'll not be very technical here, but yeah, so it's a special technology how the paper is being made. And as you can see, like we are not saying that it's the kind of like the water resistant, it's kind of weather resistant, because we are having operations in the Asia, and we are packing, I mean, our brands are packing their garments in the high humidity places with the rain seasons and so on, and shipping back to Europe or to US. And the glassine paper is resistant enough to hold these special conditions. Obviously, when we're going to pour the water on it, they will not hold it perfectly, but the glassine paper is really specially colored that it can be really weather resistant. So either it's like high temperature or even like low temperature, it's tested for that perspective.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting, especially what you're saying, you know, if you're putting the garments in high humid or rain season, they're definitely going to get wet. So nobody wants a soggy packaging on their clothing there. So that
exactly.
proves that they have water resistance there. There's another question here, and I don't know the answer to this at all, but the carbon footprint for paper is higher than plastic. What's your stand on that?
It's definitely lower. So we are using, and also like maybe another way how to use it, connected packaging, is to present, because we have calculations which are globally accepted, which is called LCA analysis, and also tracking the carbon footprint of the each type of the packaging. And actually we have the data studies when we compare the plastic or even the recycled plastic versus our bags. And then it's proven that the CO2 impact and the carbon footprint for the paper, for the glassine paper, especially for that type, is much lower than the plastic. And that's something which it can be spread globally, and it's kind of like visible for everyone. So if the connected packaging and the end users is able to understand that, yes, really with the comparison of the plastic, we are saving that percentage of the carbon footprint, then yeah, this is something which can be also helpful to have it on the packaging and also communicate to the end users, because I think like overall opinion is now that paper is better than the plastic, but maybe people are missing, as you said, like people are more educated in this area now. They want to have more information. They want to have proven data, and this is something which we can also like show on the packaging, but not just written it, but also like have it via connected packaging, which could be great fit.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. There's two things that happen because there is so much more focus now on sustainability, carbon footprint, recycling, upcycling, and all of this. Obviously, there means there's a lot of attention, but also a lot of different brands, but a lot of misinformation that's happening as well. I think absolutely the ability to be able to talk about, not necessarily defend, but be able to say, hey, listen, this is actually the impact that we have versus something else, means that the consumer can really make an informed decision. And as I mentioned kind of in the introduction, statement that I made, you know, Google told us that over 80% of people are actually actively seeking out information about the products and brands that they are purchasing. So it's not just something where, oh yeah, it would be nice to have. This is something where actively people are wanting to find better solutions. So, you know, this type of packaging offers that solution for brands, which means, of course, consumers can make that choice, make that purchasing decision, which, you know, is fantastic. We need to be able to have decisions and options for us to be able to do the right thing towards our plastic.
Oh yeah, I agree. And also, like, you know, as we said, like we are in the fashion industry, and you know, like all the news and all the awareness is now about like how fashion can be sustainable. Yeah. And it's like we know that the focus is not only on the production of the garments in the Asia, where it's like, you know, the conditions are very bad, but it's also on packaging. And as a producer, we have facilities built it near to the production of the garments productions. By the connected packaging, you will be able to track where your packaging and also garment have been really produced. So this is also like another way, like what we see can be beneficial, because I think, not because we are in that industry, but I think everybody is now like listening that the fashion should be more sustainable, and that most of the pollution is coming really also from the fashion industry. So this is something which we would like to also help in it. And there are like billion single-use plastic bags used in the fashion industry, which can increase the sustainability as such.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think we should also hold plastic up as the enemy. You know,
No.
each packaging has its pros and cons, and you know, this is one fantastic solution to be able to replace single-use plastic bags in the fashion industry. But it might not be the right solution somewhere else. But I think you're quite right. Fashion's very much under the spotlight in terms of sustainability and the impact that it has on the planet. And this option allows brands to make a different decision, to have an option available to them.
Yeah, and also like Peter said, like the plastic is the problem because it's not being collected. But you know, like when it will be, yeah. So this is alternative to the plastic because we, I think, as a people, so we population, we have issues to collect the plastic. But yeah, I mean, we should do the both. So we should be replacing, reducing, and also like the really recycle any kind of the materials which we are used. Because I think if we speak normally with all the data, it's not possible to completely stop using plastic at all. But it needs to be, like Peter said, it needs to be recycled and needs to be collected, and also where possible replaced by the paper or any kind of sustainable alternatives which are on the market present.
Yeah, I think, you know, single use is a pretty bad term. Whether it be single use with no ability to be recycled, then you know we're really kind of walking a tight deadline, I think, until those items will no longer be available. As a sales manager, you're obviously playing a crucial role in promoting sustainable packaging solutions, such as, of course, what we're talking about today, the Vela bag. How are you communicating the importance of this product to potential customers, your customers, and brands? What challenges do you have when you're talking to your customers? As I say, the brands. What, you know, not everyone buys, I assume. What are the challenges that you come up against?
Yeah, so firstly, I'll answer the first questions, like how we are trying to attract our the new brands and all the environment. So as I said, like we are quite lucky because I think currently the opinion is still kind of towards the paper. So I think like there are not major doubts that why the paper is kind of like in some meaning better than plastic. We are obviously using the social medias, and but I have to say like the biggest kind of like communication what help us to spread it more our packaging is our brands which are already on board with us, so they are basically using our bags, and that way they are trying to attract the other brands, because as we see that the brands are looking to each other, and then they are trying to copy themselves, I mean, in some other way. So this is, I think, like the biggest promotion for us. And then that's why, again, emphasizes to it's important to have the information on the packaging as such, because if there will be no information on the paper packaging, like who is the producer, what is the material, what is the carbon footprint, how we are helping the environment, then no one else will be able to track us. But again, coming to the question, like how much we can put on that packaging. So there is limitation not only for the branding, but also like to saying some information like not even who is the producer, but what is the material from. So yeah. I think this is something which is like very important, that connect the packaging with the producer. That's what is the alternative on the market. And for kind of like struggle what we are having on the market. So what we say, yeah. So I think the biggest challenge is obviously the price. So also the factors which you mentioned on your when you've been making the introduction, that we have the crisis and we can see it. We have the brands and our customers are from the different ways. So we have the high luxury brands until the very fast fashion brands. And we really see downturn in some mid-size brands. So, and obviously paper is more expensive than plastic. So, I mean, currently, when you'll be asking me like 2 years ago, I'll say something different. But currently, I'll say like the biggest challenge for us, is the price, is to fight against the other materials with our price, and to be able to serve it.
So price being a big one, which is obviously always a challenge. Do you think that these types of alternatives will come down in price as they become more widely used?
I think oppositely. I think that the plastic will become more expensive because, as we can see now, like there are some not even bans, but there are also some restrictions. Additional taxes are being involved not only in the UK but also in the European Union. So each state has putting some additional taxes to the plastic to, I think, make it more expensive, and then to open the opportunity for the alternative substrates for using the single-use packaging. So I think. I don't think the paper, paper specialist, I can say only about the paper, will go down with the price much lower. It's renewable source, but it's something which needs time to grow. And then we have also obviously the recycled of the paper, but not usable for maybe food contact and so on. So this is kind of like bigger topic, but my opinion is that the plastic will become more expensive, and therefore the alternative substrates for the packaging will be more affordable for all of us.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that as a very possible future. There's a couple of different conversations going on in the chat, which is great. I mean, we're provoking conversation, we're provoking discussion, and that's what this is all about. So just going to quickly dart over. There's a couple of different comments and questions here. So anonymous attendee is saying that the paper recycling sector is getting increasingly concerned by the amount of coated and altered paper packaging, which is not recyclable. Are these Vela bags recyclable?
Yeah, so I can speak about the Vela bags, but I also I agree that there are a lot of the papers which are not recyclable because of the barrier or the coatings which are using. But the Vela bags, they are made of 100% paper and do not contain any coating or the barriers so it's like 100% recyclable. So I mean, and it's not like I'm saying that, but it's also like we have obviously the studies and we put it in the laboratories which prove that the Vela bags are 98.7% recyclable.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what the previous question asking about it's 100% paper was probably alluding to as well. But again, it's a really important thing, I think, for us as consumers to think about as well, because there is a lot of greenwashing that is going on. There is a lot of misinformation. Again, we can talk back to how the QR code and connected packaging can help to educate and remove some of that. But also, I think just as consumers, we need to be with our heads switched on when we're looking at these different solutions. If it is paper but massively coated with plastic, well, that immediately tells us that there's going to be some recycling challenges because you need to separate those materials. So I think that's a really good point. Another point here, which we could quickly ask, is if you have any views on polypropylene material, which is used for bags manufacturing for food packaging, which can also be reused, unlike paper bags, which are usually single use. Do you have any comments around that?
Yeah, that's exactly what you said, like kind of like single use. It's something which is which we would like to avoid, obviously. And also, when I just go back to our bags, they are also using for the returns. So basically the bags are, and also like seal strip at the top of it is resealable. I'm not speaking now, I'm speaking about non-food category because we are specialized in that way. So food, I mean, I'm not very specialized there. So the bags are resealable. So basically when you receive it from, when you order something online from the garment, and then when you don't like it, you basically put in the same bag and then you return in the same bag. So we are also trying, because we see also that this is important not to have something which is single use, but it's like mostly used. So at this stage, we have only this solution that it's like the seal can be resealable and can be back, go to the returns, and then can be easily sent to the another customer. Because also we see, and then we hear it from our brands, that the end customers, they would like to use, I mean, they would like to receive also their garments is something which can be used more times and even for the different purpose, which we see as another trend, which we definitely would like to look into it. That on the other side, it still needs to protect the garments. So this is, I mean, the development goes like very much further. So I trust like next year will be maybe with something different here. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have you back to hear about that as well. You know, I think there's a lot to be said as well around some of that onus being on the consumer as well. Because again, you can put so much work into, any brand can put so much work into the packaging, making it more sustainable, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't get to the right bin for recycling, actually it's been quite a lot of waste there anyway, right? So I think it is also down to the consumer. Last comment quickly before we close is from Ibuken, and he says, well done on the great presentation. So my also thoughts there, but he says, have we also considered the fact that recycled paper can contain contaminants like ink, adhesives and chemicals that are difficult to remove during the recycling process? That's probably also in line with a little bit what we were talking about in terms of plastic coating. These contaminants, of course, can limit the amount of recycling that can happen, potentially pose environmental risks. Talking about the Vela bag, are there any things that we should be aware of there?
Actually, Vela bags are made of 100% virgin paper, so it's not made of the recycled paper, and it has own reasons, because the recycled paper has very short paper fibers because it's being recycled few times, and then and then the bags are not actually as much durable as made from the virgin paper. So there are no any concerns about the recycled paper containing some of the dangerous goods. Nevertheless, we are looking also for the option for the recycled paper, so as a base paper to our bags, because if it is non-food industry, so there are no any concerns that these kind of like the inks and all the other dangerous things which might be in the recycled paper, which unlikely with the current technology shouldn't be, will be also used for the bags. So, but currently, I mean, our bags are made of 100% virgin paper, which doesn't contain any goods or the inks.
Sure. No contaminants. Great. I said that was the last. I've got one more last from an anonymous attendee here. What is used to seal your bags? Not only the top seal, but the sides along the bag as well, because all sealants that we know are currently plastic based.
Okay, so I mean, we are using two types of glue on our bags. So one is like the mill glue, and the second is the water-based glue. And all of them they are recyclable. Actually, now we are experimenting with the glue which is made of the cornstarch, which is like again very much sustainable and can be really 100% recycled. As we know that the mill glue and the water-based glue are very small percentage which cannot be recycled. But as I again confirmed that we have 98.7% recyclability, so which means like any kind of producer or the processor of the paper is able to recycle the bags without any issues.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sonia. It's been a really, really great session. Thank you for answering all of the fantastic questions that we had from the audience. Thank you for persevering with the screen sharing as well.
Sorry.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm sure if anybody wants to reach out, they can to you, to us, and we can connect anybody. So a big thank you to you again.
Thank you very much.
Dear audience, do hold on. We will be back very, very shortly, a very quick break, and then we will be joined with Phil Archer. He is the Director of Web Solutions at GS1, and we're going to be talking about the death of the barcode. See you very soon.